In this video, you'll learn how to authorize 2-to-1 attendant care in different situations. Let's start with authorizing 2-to-1 attendant care from different providers. To do these steps, you'll need the Plan of Care Manager or Plan of Care Superuser role. Start by logging in under your CME role that allows you to work in the Plan of Care. In this example, I'm a brokerage user, so I'm logged in under the Contractor role. I have the individual's Plan of Care open, and currently I see they're receiving 1-to-1 attendant care from 2 agency providers. Now this individual has just been granted an exception of 60 hours of 2-to-1 attendant care starting on February 1st, 2026, so we need to enter that. And remember that there's no reason to increase the amount of authorized monthly hours that the individual has. This is because by ODDS policy, an individual is receiving 1 hour of service regardless of the number of staff that are supporting them during that hour. To enter these authorizations, select the Edit button. Then, navigate to the In-Home Services tab and select the Add Plan Line button. This is where we'll enter in the plan line for 2-to-1 service. We're going to complete the required fields. The service element populates here, and then select the procedure code OR526 and select ZE 2-to-1 single provider. Now we'll enter the approved monthly hours, so we'll enter 60 hours per month, and then we'll enter the date range. It starts on February 1st, 2026 and goes to the end of the plan. Then select Save. Now that we have a plan line, we can add each provider and submit their authorization for ODDS approval. To do that, select the Add Provider button, and in the drop-down menu, search for the provider that you want to add for this service. In our case, we're going to add both of the agency providers. I'll select the first one, then enter in the start date, end date, and units. Then select Save. I'll add the second provider by doing the same steps, and now I'll select Submit for each service prior authorization. These authorizations will move to pending status for ODDS review and approval since they're 2-to-1 services. Once approved, the status will change to accepted, and then one of these providers can bill under OR526NA for 1-to-1 supports, while the other provider can bill at the same time under OR526ZE. While 2 billings are created for 2 different providers, only 1 hour of service is used for the individual. Now let's look at authorizing 2-to-1 attendant care from the same agency provider. This would be a situation where the same agency provider is sending 2 direct support professionals to support an individual. This is done using OR526ZC. Remember, the ZC modifier code has a higher rate that is paid because it represents the complete billing when the agency sends 2 staff at one time. To create the authorization, go to Edit mode, then to the In-Home Services tab, and select the Add Plan Line button. In this example, the service element pre-fills, and then you'll want to select OR526 Attendant Care, and then the ZC modifier, which is 2-to-1 both one agency - community. In our example, this individual is approved for 60 hours of 2-to-1 service per month, and from the date range of February 1st to the end of the plan. Now under our ZC plan line, we'll add 2 service prior authorizations for 2 different providers and submit those for ODDS approval. Under the plan line, select the Add Provider button. Then enter in the provider, the start date, end date, and units, and select Save. We'll do the same for the second provider. And now, like before, we can select Submit on each of these, and the service prior authorizations will move to pending status for ODDS review and approval. Once they're approved, the status changes to accepted, and one of the 2 agency providers can now bill for OR526ZC when they send 2 DSPs to support an individual. The agency will receive a higher rate for sending 2 staff, but only 1 hour of service is used for the individual. Now, as an important note, service-delivered billing entries for OR526ZC cannot currently be created in Express Mobile EVV by direct support professionals. These billings must be entered in the Express desktop or via the Agency SD import process by the agency provider. Lastly, it's good to recognize that individuals could need multiple authorizations amongst all of these procedure codes to reflect the various provider combinations for these 2-to-1 and 1-to-1 services. They need to be flexible, so more authorizations might need to be entered. The example scenario here on the screen shows an individual that's approved for up to 90 hours of 2-to-1 attendant care with multiple agencies and personal support workers involved. In this scenario, it's possible for the 2-to-1 services to be provided by a single agency provider sending 2 direct support professionals, such as if agency provider 1 did that under OR 526ZC, 2 agency providers sending 1 DSP each, such as if agency provider 2 and agency provider 3 billed under OR 526NA and OR 526ZE, or a personal support worker paired with another personal support worker or an agency direct support professional, such as if PSW1 provided service along with PSW2, one of them billing under OR 526NA and one billing under OR 526ZE. The key is to create the correct authorizations under the right procedure code and modifier code for each provider based on how they need to provide the service. Additionally, if the plan of care you're working on involves paid parent direct support professionals, then you may need to create authorizations for OR 525 paid parent attendant care, and you can follow the guidance in the reference materials we have on those procedure codes and modifiers. Lastly, remember that a service prior authorization for 2-to-1 attendant care will always move to pending status in Express. This is true even if the amount of 2-to-1 can be approved at the local case management entity level. When that happens, ODDS staff will review these pending authorizations against any documentation and then make a decision regarding to approve them or not.